she wanted to kind of grow that community in a way that was centered around like really just having fun with other Black students.
Mm.
And then it kind of evolved into something that focused on supporting Black students in like socially and academically and in various ways.
Mm.
Wow. Black
Yeah.
students having fun at independent
Yeah,
schools.
joy. I love the joy
What a
aspect.
concept.
Yes.
What a
Yes, what a
concept. Hey, Gina Parker Collins.
Hey, Sam Osborne.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you, my friend?
I'm doing well. I was very, very sad to miss you in Greenwich this weekend, though.
Yeah, we had that 15th Rise Fall Boutique Recruitment
Oh,
Salon. I mean, really at the end of the day, it is about families making connections, having their questions answered, some demystification of, word on the street about what an independent school is or is not. My children were on the panel this time around, so it was all about alumni voices and them being
yeah.
able to look back to help those look ahead. So it was awesome. We had Riverdale Country School as our sponsor, and we also had as community sponsor Jack and Jill Norwalk Stanford. But everyone in that room was a star. I mean, I met some amazing young scholars who have such promise right now and ahead of them. So it was those were really the stars in the room, the students.
The students, you say.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
speaking of
Speaking
which,
of speaking of which,
Gina.
yes, we are really delighted today to have two extraordinary young scholars who both happen to be seniors. We have Summer Love, who is a senior at Chapin. We have Gabby Mclain from Horace Mann School, who's also a senior, and they hold two amazing leadership positions as co-presidents of the Black Student Coalition. You have seen them
Woo.
if you're on Instagram and you are a stakeholder anywhere in this independent school world. You know that they have been on top of creating community within community in profound ways. So I'm just so honored to have Summer and Gabby with us today.
Yes, let's add them to the stage.
Yes, Gabby, Summer, hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for
having
inviting us.
us.
Yes, absolutely. We're so excited. You are seniors now. How does it feel to be a senior, Summer?
Unreal. Can't even conceptualize the fact that I'm doing college applications and won't be attending
Oh.
for the first time ever next year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're applying to colleges. Gabby, where are you coming from, by the way? Are you like visiting a school right now?
I'm actually just on my way home from school, so
She's in a car for those who are listening to the
yes.
podcast. So we really appreciate you joining.
I think it's the best acoustics, actually. I think, you're in this cocoon of a space. So we're happy to have you wherever you are coming from. Yes.
So I want to congratulate you, Black Student Coalition. I believe formed in 2020. Were you present for the formation of that?
We were not.
Okay.
I had joined Black Student Coalition towards the spring of my freshman year. But our two founders, Nisa Williams and Maya Benbury, founded BSC, I want to say the spring of 2021.
Wow.
And they built it mostly based off of their personal network and people that they had already known and people who were just excited about building community across independent schools. And then it grew into this thing that just got out at interschool Black affinities, which is how I found out about BSC, because there are representatives who are leaders at my school's, like, I guess, miniature coalition. And it just kind of exploded, and now we serve 500 plus students, which is so crazy.
Wow, 500 plus students, Gina. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
that's incredible. Do you know, share a little bit about the formation, the reason why? Because there are some other student-led networks out here. Was BSC, Black Student Coalition, filling a void, or it was like, you know what? There's a McDonald's and a Burger King on the same block. We can do this. We just bring different aspects.
It's kind of like a mix of both. I mean, Nisa kind of, one of the co-founders spoke to how she initially envisioned Black Student Coalition to be a kind of a social club and like a social network for Black students in PWIs because there's definitely like a lot of smaller communities within schools, but like creating an inter-school network was important to her, and she wanted to kind of grow that community in a way that was centered around like really just having fun with other Black students.
Mm.
And then it kind of evolved into something that focused on supporting Black students in like socially and academically and in various ways.
Wow. Black
Yeah.
students having fun at independent
Yeah,
schools.
joy. I love the joy aspect.
What a concept.
Yes.
What a
What a
concept. So are you having fun? How much work are you putting into this every week, let's say?
I'd say a fair share. We have three, I guess, high school executives right now. So Gabby and I share the role of president. And then we have our vice president, Lily, who's a senior at Nightingale. And we have three kind of totally lost my train, organizational committees. So we have events committee, and I act as point person for that. Gabby acts as point person for our newsletter, and Lily acts as point person for our social media. So it really is a way for us to not have to be doing everything all at once so that the things that we're doing are really impactful and really focused and streamlined. So it is still a lot of work, but it's a lot of work that I think we're all excited about. So it kind of doesn't feel as much like work. And I guess we always get to really see like the impacts of our work. We had our first general meeting this Saturday, and just seeing so many new members, and so like our audience is like expanding into the younger grades that we've been trying to service, and like seeing seventh graders like really come into themselves and like have fun playing Black Family Feud. Like,
Yes.
it's just really great to see that the things that we're doing like are working, and that people are actually like, we're seeing the impacts instantly in a way.
Mm-hmm. It's all coming together, honestly, because we see that cohesiveness through your Instagram pages. I mean, you all are very intentional and very focus driven on that joy aspect, and it comes through, in everything that you do. So it's very professional looking. I mean, it looks like you all are on top of it.
Drop the Instagram now so people can peruse while listening. What's the Instagram?
Okay.
At BLK Student Coalition _NYC is our New York chapter.
Right.
And we're launching our New Jersey chapter at BLK Student Coalition _NJ. If you want to see us build up over there.
Wow. We will make sure to add it. We're going to definitely drop it in our notes as well. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Expanding.
Just the beginning.
It is national, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, amazing. How did you, in this ramp up, who are you leaning on? I know you're student led. Do you have partners that are helping you to ramp up your operations?
I think our alumni are really instrumental. So like Nisa and Maya have been really huge supports to us. They're always checking in, making sure that we're okay and that we feel good about the work we're doing, making sure that the alignment of like how BSC was founded and what its intentions were stay central in our work. We also have two New Jersey chapter heads who are kind of taking the lead on like developing their network across New Jersey independent schools and PWIs in general, because we aren't only for independent schools, but they do tend to be the predominantly white institutions, but really making sure that they're opening that space up. But I think BSC is largely just a bunch of students collaborating and making things happen together.
So what are some of the highlights that you're looking forward to that you did last year and bringing into this new school year?
I'm really excited for our Women's Day event. The Women's Day event is an annual event that takes place in March. I'm pretty sure that's Women's History Month. And we kind of center it around International Women's Day, like that week. And we do activities to like center our Black female members, whether it be like talking about important Black female figures, to just discussing issues that Black girls in independent schools face. So we kind of just center Black women in all that we do in that meeting. And then there's also like a recreational aspect. So, you know, we have cupcakes, we get dressed up, we take nice photos. And I'm really excited to do that this year. And I'm hoping that we can even make it an even bigger event this year as well.
I sense an invitation from the Brown Butter Collective to you all. You know, Gabby, I know, I mean, Summer, you participated in the past, but we would love to have you talk about your Women's Day experience in May. So we'll talk about that.
Oh my God, we would love to.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes. I sense an invitation for me to be your keynote speaker. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, that part. As a fellow alum.
Are you exhausted? Do you ever feel like, I just want to have fun like my classmates?
Yeah. I think BSC functions in a way where it feels like fun. And like, I think we're all very intentional about that. And the moment that it isn't fun anymore, it's like, well, then why are we here? But I haven't been anywhere near that point. I haven't seen or observed anything of anyone getting near that point. And I think that's what makes BSC like a labor of love.
That's great.
Wow.
So when it comes to social justice issues, platforms, do you spend any time talking about those challenges and issues that you might face as Black students in independent schools, or are you essentially giving yourself the freedom to just be and have fun and be in community that way?
I think in BSC, we strike a good balance between addressing issues and also like celebrating Black joy. I think one of the most meaningful discussions we had was to me was the Central Park 5 discussion, when we talked about like one of the members of the Exonerated Five like running for office. And that was really interesting because we kind of like centered or we kind of unpacked the struggles that we endure as African Americans, and then also kind of how we address those struggles and how we can like persevere. And I think BSC kind of emphasizes to like our members that we can do it. Like spaces weren't initially designed for Black people, but we are here and we like take up space and we're important. And at the same time, we also can have lots of fun. So I think in terms of social justice, that's one of the main ways that we address like injustices that African Americans face is through like our discussions.
I am looking at the photos of your events. I'm looking at your board, all the students contributing. I'm quite surprised by the number of seemingly cisgender males that are part of BSC. I don't know. Are you surprised by that? And was there an effort? Was there a conversation about gender representation and maybe gender parity for BSC?
I think, yeah, Gabby.
Or if it's not a thought, you know, I don't want to superimpose our, you know, we've been in this, and unfortunately, that's been our experience, right? Coming up in independent schools, raising independent school children. So definitely tell us to shut up if that's not actually okay.
I think we definitely have talked about the gender ratio and making sure that there's equal representation. And I think even in the founding, it was predominantly Black women leading the organization. It was founded by 2 Nightingale students, but I think we have seen a really promising increase in participation and excitement from men taking on leadership in the organization. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm curious what your peers, your white peers or your Latinx peers, your schools, what they think about BSC? Do they know about BSC? Are they, wanting to learn some best practices?
Definitely try to like keep my friends in the loop about what BSC is doing. I think BSC in general is just such a big part of my life that like not talking about it or keeping that as like solely for like information for like the reps and summer and the exec board is like not exposing like my full identity and my full like experience with my friends. So I definitely like talk to them about it. I think like sometimes I tell my friends to like repost what BSC's posting. Sometimes I tell them to like engage. Like we had some questions on our story for like Black Family Feud for our first meeting, and some of them even submitted answers just because like it's kind of allowing others to engage with Black culture. So like we're creating a community centered around Black students, but also we still want other people to like support what we're doing and engage with our work in ways that they can.
That's awesome. I love
That
to
is
repost
awesome.
BSC posts. I just love it. I mean, again, they're so vibrant.
So BSC's been in existence for 4 years. Could you talk to maybe some of the changes that you might have witnessed in the last 4 years, 3-4 years, excuse me, either, due to your advocacy, due to, moments like Black at the Instagram movement. What changes have you witnessed in independent schools that you think to yourself, okay, like we're actually moving the needle for social justice, for Black joy, etc.?
At my school, I've definitely seen an increase of intentional faculty. We've introduced a lot of division specific DEI workers. So like we'll have a head of DEI for the lower and middle and upper school. And then we have actually new role dedicated just to culture and community. So this person is really centers around like making sure our institutional practice is aligned with making sure students feel protected and celebrated. Making sure faculty feel the same way, making sure our programming is intentional and inclusive and diverse and exciting, and like really working between the administration and the students. So I think faculty definitely has been a really huge difference that I've noticed.
Also, I'd say just to like even add on to that, I think because BSC like connects with like administration from various schools, they're exposed to the work of their students like involved in DEI work. So, like me and Summer emailed like the administrators in Grace Church about BSC hosting there. So like neither of us attend Grace Church, but just exposing them to the work that we do can kind of also encourage administrations to continue their DEI work, their social justice work, just because they know that their students are actively engaging with these ideas on their campus.
Yeah. What are you trying to see in the future?
I think something that we're branching out into are developing a lot more internal mentorship programs. We would love to expand, I guess, the ages we service, because right now it's 7th through 12th, because those are kind of the ages that can come to a meeting, feel comfortable on their own, engage in conversation. But we would love to kind of form like mentorship pods, having older members, probably representatives, meeting with a younger cohort of students and like showing up for them and like making sure that like BSC is a part of their lives throughout, because this work matters from day one. Like being exposed to this matters from day one, because you're aware you're at a PWI the day you start kindergarten. So like having this work be part of your upbringing the same way being at a PWI is part of your upbringing is something that we're really passionate about and something we're working to expand toward. But yeah, and I think in whatever we expand into and whatever we continue to do, like making sure that our mission of like centering joy and centering the fact that Black students don't have to like center their pain and center their suffering and really just allow themselves to be and to be happy and to be with each other. Never losing that ever, no matter what scale we expand to. I think is something that's going to be the most important to all of us.
I love that. Yesterday at the recruitment salon, there were alumni voices, as I mentioned earlier, my children. And what predominated the conversation were the challenges. honestly. It was, they would throw in, well, this is how I have benefited from an independent school education. And even just to hear them speak and articulate for the parents sitting in the audience, I'm like, oh, wow, like you're hitting them with a lot of trauma-based experiences and challenges. I'm curious, what challenges do you see today with Black students? I know you're centering joy, and that's what I love most about BSC, because there is joy as well. And we won't allow the institutions to take that away from us. But I'm curious if the same challenges exist. When Maya comes back, to visit from school, and she's in a room of your peers, and you might be talking about some of the challenging things. Will she say, I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's the, we can't help but experience it in these type of institutions.
Right.
I think one of the voids that BSE tries to fill is like the lack of like inter-school connections between Black students and PWIs, because sometimes when you're in a PWI in general, there's very like few Black students in many independent schools. But sometimes it can feel isolating. And if you don't have access to Black students that are going through like other experiences, whether it be in your school or in other schools, it can kind of feel like you're entirely alone. And I think having an organization or access to an organization like BSC allows you to connect with other Black students. So I think that's definitely an issue that BSC is working to address, for sure.
I'd love to know how BSC fits into your life right now as you are doing the Common App, as you are doing the SATs and everything.
Yeah, I think the way that we've built our leadership and the legacy of leadership that Maya and Nisa have left us was really one on like leaning on each other. So I've had times where I've been like, you know what, guys, I have 7 supplements I have to write this week. Like, Gabby, can you check in with events and make sure that they have what they need to be where they need to be by this Saturday? And she's always been there to kind of supplement what I can't do that week. And I'm always happy to do the same. And like we always can lean on Lily. And even if it's, hey, Nisa, like we need this post to go out, or we need this email to go out, like the executive committee is really intentional about being there for each other and showing up for each other in the way that we're trying to like foster BSC people to do in general. So having that present, I guess, in our work relationships, I think is really essential.
How are you funded? How do you get support funding wise to do all of the great things that you do? I mean, let me tell you, those birthday dinners, you all, first of all, you don't play when it comes to your attire. You all always look good. Like we are going out, okay? We're putting on our finest attire. So how does all of that get funded?
It's the mafia.
Like that. It's all very collaborative.
Okay.
For the birthday dinners, for example, everyone chips in and we split the bill.
Okay.
For the parties, that is mostly part from our parent network and from past parties, like spillover from what we've raised from selling tickets. The parent network is a great support for our larger scale events, but in terms of our meetings, those are normally just we'll go to a school and we'll be like, hey, like for example, Chapin, do you mind ordering like 5 pizzas for this event? And they'll almost always be like,
ask for what it is you need. Ask for what it is you need.
Yes. Closed mouths don't get fed. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, whenever we host schools, they're almost always more than happy to be like, yeah, sure, we can slide over a couple pizzas, order this for you guys, no problem. And yeah.
Amazing.
I'm glad to see that the parent network is strong. So this parent network are the parents of the current members, right? That just, or is it a formalized network of parents, or is it, hey mom, dad, can you help us get this done? Or are they networking themselves to help you in the background?
I would say it's kind of a mix of both. I'd say the parent network is definitely like thriving on its own. They have like a WhatsApp group chat where people share a lot of different things that are relevant to just Black students in independent schools, or even like happy birthday messages. Like a very like
I
community
love that.
oriented like parent network. So it's really great to see like how our community can impact our parents in a positive way as well, and just
Mhm.
develop like a network of Black people in all different generations. Then I'd also say like definitely like even parents of alums are still very involved
Yes.
in like the group chat, especially like the parents of the founders.
It's a surprisingly huge network. I think when it was first, I guess, its first inception, it might have even been larger than BSC actually was.
Mhm.
Um, but a lot of it is just word of mouth. I was at my friend's birthday party and his mom had asked if she could join the chat, and we were like, absolutely. And it's really just about parents seeing the work that we do and seeing how it's impacting either their kids' friends, like seeing the work that we do and seeing its importance and wanting to support us in whatever ways they can. So, yeah, it's
Because that
Yeah.
is my next question. Like, how do we support you? We want to be honorary aunties. I mean, I just want to let you know that
oh, we
now.
want you to be.
I wish that I mean, you all are doing it so well. I mean, there's so many intersections. The fact that you're focused on joy, that there is, that you actually do that joy. You gather together, you celebrate birthdays, you talk about social justice issues. You have parent networks and schools that are willing to support your work because it's so intentional. Is awesome. So we want to know, how can we help you? Or anyone who's listening to this podcast, how can they help BSC?
I would say, like for starters, definitely like encourage Black students to join BSC. We're always looking to expand, and I'd say that is the like most immediate way like to like tell people to engage with BSC. And yeah, I'd say especially like in terms of adults, like sometimes we'll have parents sign their kids up. They'll reach out to us and try to talk to us about what BSC is doing, get to know like what's on the agenda for a given meeting, and just continue like engaging with us and getting other students involved, especially because part of the reason BSC exists is because not all Black students in independent schools are connected with one another. Sometimes parents can help build that network
Mm.
for us as well.
So I'm drinking some tea, and I'm one of those people that's like, the universe is talking to me.
Oh my God.
And so mine says today, your actions prove your greatness.
Oh,
Summer and Gabby, you guys are great.
Yeah, so
Thank you
impressive.
so much.
What do you want for yourselves in the future? What are you working towards?
You can go first, Summer.
thanks, Gabby.
I'll follow you.
Yeah. Well, being in the midst of supplements and writing about my aspirations and my upcoming and everything about me, I think something that I found is like I'm really passionate about the arts, particularly the performing arts. I've been a singer, an actor, ever since I was 5, I guess. Um, and I'm kind of venturing into like the production and like really thinking critically about the kinds of messaging I've received from like productions, like the type of casting I've encountered. And something that I was thinking about really deeply for a supplement I wrote was I want to be in a position where I'm creating stories and being, I guess, on the lead in media that is replacing imitative content. So, like, getting rid of like reductive tropes like the magical Negro, which is a trope I actually examined for a speech I did. And it's like, a good example is Billy Porter in one of the Cinderella movies where he comes in and he's like, "Oh, hello, little white girl," and like fixes all of her problems, or like his
Yeah.
awesome black best friend, and like replacing them with like, I guess, archetypes and but authentic ones that tell genuine stories, and creating the same way that we can buy into like the naivete and like all of these structures and like archetypes that exist within a frame of whiteness, but like having recognizable identities for us that are made by us for us and things that feel authentic and genuine and real and not mocking or I guess shallow. So yeah.
I would say for me, ever since like I was young, I've been really passionate about social justice and like pursuing that through the humanities. So I've always been very involved with newsletters, like that's the committee I oversee at BSC. But I also like write for 3 publications at my school. I'm working on like a research paper right now with a professor of like a divinity school about like protests, Bloody Sunday in particular in Selma. So there's a lot of different things that I do that kind of connect my passion in the humanities and social justice. And the way I want to pursue that in the future is becoming a social justice attorney. I really want to like go to law school and then be able to like support addressing the social injustices that I see in a way that like I can use my like skills in writing to like support other people.
Wow. Both of you, arts and humanities.
We are locked. We are like this now.
Yes.
Absolutely. And we just so appreciate you taking the time to be with us because you're so busy. So we really value your time. Thank you so much.
I'll let you get back to your school night. It's Monday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
If you enjoyed listening to this discussion, please pass it on to a friend. And don't forget to hit subscribe and follow us on Instagram at our parent organization at 4RISE. That's the number 4, RIISE. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.